Each month here on my channel, I share 10 things that you can declutter to help you take the guesswork out of what to get rid of, and so you can get those quick results. Here are some junk that you can clear out in the month of January. Let's go. Hi guys, it's Laura and I help you live a simpler, happier, more spacious life, and my family are arriving tonight for Christmas. You won't see this video for another week, but I'm recording it today because once they arrive, I'm just going to be feet up, relaxed the entire time. So I'm going to take you around with me while I am cleaning up in advance of their arrival. Step one, changing towels, but I will share some things that you can declutter in January. And the very first one is unwanted or leftover gifts. So if you received something and you just know that you're not going to use it, it doesn't fit your lifestyle, or it's just not something that you enjoy, now is the time to either return it if you've got a gift receipt for it, maybe pass it on to someone else, donate it, whatever you need to do. But also, you may have actually bought some gifts that you never gave to people. So maybe you bought kind of some extra bath sets, things like that, just in case you needed a last minute gift, and now they're left sitting there. Maybe they've even been sitting there for more than one Christmas. All of those gifts that have been left over after Christmas that are not going to be loved, used, etc., you can go ahead and declutter those. Sticking with the gift theme, and then maybe you received something yourself that was an upgrade or a newer version of something that you already have. So maybe you got a new phone, maybe you got a new laptop, a new food processor, something like that. You just upgraded your stuff, or someone else gifted you an upgrade. Now I know sometimes you do like to keep the old version. For some reason I have kept an old phone because it has my Irish SIM card in it. You have the new one, you don't need the old one. If the old one is in pretty good condition, you could give it to someone else who needs one. Maybe someone you know is looking for a blender or whatever, or you could just donate it. But don't let old stuff clog up your cupboards when you have replacements for that stuff. Okay, fresh towels and tea towels have been put out. The old ones are in the wash, getting scrubbed all nice and clean. Next job is to tackle the beds. But let's look at the next thing that we can declutter, which will probably come as no surprise, but that is holiday or festive decorations, assuming you haven't already put all of them away. I'm willing to bet there's probably still a few hanging around your home. Before you go to all the effort of taking them all down, boxing them all up, go through them and see if there are ones that you really don't want to put out next year, or maybe there are some that didn't actually make it out of the box this year. Before you just cram more stuff on top of them, slide them back into the attic or the basement, ask yourself if you really want to continue decorating with these things. Do you love them? Do you use them? Or are they just taking up space? Next year's decorating job is going to be so much easier if you only have the things that you actually love and enjoy and look forward to decorating your home with. Fittingly, the next thing I have to tackle is some donation boxes that I've got spread throughout the house. So December is a big decluttering month for me. We want to make space for all the new stuff that's coming in. While I am tackling those, consider all of the festive or holiday themed stuff that you have lying around your home that, like the decorations, you know probably won't see another season. I'm talking like Christmas pajamas, Santa hats. Maybe you have some holiday themed books that you know your kids will have outgrown by the time next year rolls around. Maybe you had some napkins, various different holiday festive themed things that you're not going to use throughout the year and probably are not going to use the next festive season. It's very easy to get caught up in the excess of the season and maybe buy some themed things that you wouldn't normally have around. So like, you know, holiday tea towels or things like that. Yes, they're great and they're cute for all of about 4 weeks, and then the other 48 of the year, they're just taking up precious space in your home. Unless you really love them and you know that you will use them next season, let them go. Yeah, I was gonna put this stuff directly into my car, but seeing how filthy it is, I'm going to clean it out first. Just a quick clean, a dust, a vacuum. While I'm doing that, then the next thing on your list that you could be considering is leftover food from the holidays. So again, food is probably one of those areas where we can go a little bit overboard. We buy a lot of excess food, particularly if we are hosting. Maybe you bought some ingredients or spices or seasonings for a recipe and now you have loads of that left over and you just know that you're not going to use it again. Maybe you bought something to try it, you just didn't like it. Or maybe there's just been stuff sitting in your pantry all year long that you haven't used. Go through your pantry, maybe your fridge and your freezer if you have time, your cupboards, and pull out anything that you know that you're not going to use. If it's still in good condition, donate it to a community food bank or homeless shelter or something like that. If it's not in good condition, maybe you can compost it, or you may just have to dump it. It's also a great idea to clean out any puddings or desserts or sweets, all of those types of things. If one of your New Year's resolutions is to, improve your diet, it is for me. I don't need that type of temptation lying around, so it's a good time to get it out now. If you can't see it, you can't be tempted by it. Well, you'll be less tempted. Ooh, that actually took a lot longer than I thought, and it is freezing cold. It's actually colder than freezing. Now I'm going to drop this stuff off, but the next thing on the list then is any holiday themed apps or software that you downloaded. Maybe you downloaded a Santa tracker for your kids, or one of those apps that kind of lets you talk to Santa. Maybe you downloaded one of those video things, that will kind of superimpose your face over the face of a dancing elf. Maybe you downloaded some Instagram filters, like festive filters, or that Best 9 app, that collates the kind of top 9 Instagram posts from your feed this year. There are so many of those things that we probably don't even think about, and once we download them, we tend to forget about them, but they're still sitting there taking up space, particularly if you're like me and space is at a premium on your phone right now, constantly running out. It's also a good time to clear out all of the cookies and the cache from your laptop or your device so that those sites aren't tracking you well into the next year. Next up then is emails, particularly those subscriptions, newsletters, sales emails, promotions, etc. that you do not want clogging up your inbox next year. Have a scan through the last few emails that you received and ask yourself if you want to keep receiving them all throughout the next 12 months. There may be some new ones in there, so maybe you purchased something before Christmas online and now they are sending you all of the sales emails. Maybe you signed up to get a coupon code or something like that. And businesses in general just go, a little bit crazy over the holiday season, obviously to entice you to buy things. That's all perfectly normal, but do you want to continue hearing from them on a regular basis? It only takes a few seconds to unsubscribe and then you never have to hear from them again. This is a great one because not only does it clean out your inbox right now, as you're deleting things, but if you are actually unsubscribing, you're not going to continue to receive them. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. You're just saving yourself all that future time because you won't have to open and delete and open and delete all of those countless emails. My family's first flight has landed. They have a few hours of a layover. It's a pretty long layover, but then they hop on their second flight and they'll be here. Getting pretty late in the day, is pretty dark out, but I am just kind of putting the finishing touches on the rooms. While I'm doing that, let's talk photos and videos. If you were anything like me, you take thousands of photos and little video clips throughout the year, and probably more so in December because there's a lot going on. But as I mentioned earlier, my phone fills up very quickly indeed. So it's a great time to go through and delete the photographs and the video clips that are not special to you. They're all the duplicates, the blurry ones, maybe some screenshots you took with motivational quotes or gift ideas. This is something that I actually try to do on a weekly basis, but I do sit down at the end of the year and go back over the entire year, because sometimes when enough time has passed, something that seemed special in the moment, 12 months later, is not quite as special. So a photograph that I took maybe 6 or 9 months ago may not have the same meaning to me now. You will probably find the same, that there are just lots of photographs and video clips clogging up your phone that really you don't need. They're taking up space and they're slowing down your device. So go ahead and declutter them. Speaking of email subscriptions, don't neglect the other subscription services that you have. Maybe you signed up for a streaming service, which I think a lot of people did the past year or two. Maybe you subscribe to a newspaper or a magazine or anything like that. A good place to kind of find all of those things is to go through recent bank statements and see which are the things, which are the companies, the brands, the services that are regularly taking your money, and ask yourself if you want to continue giving them money throughout the next year. Now, some of them you will want to keep because they provide entertainment, joy, distraction, information, and that's great, but it just comes back to being intentional about how you spend your time and how you spend your money. Is this an activity that you want to continue to engage with for the next year? And is it something that you want to continue paying for the next year? Scout actually decorated this. Isn't it cute? She did this all by herself. I had no idea until I walked in one day and this was all wrapped up. Very sweet. Now these next two are kind of different, but also kind of similar. So I'm just gonna lump them together. So part A is thinking that you are going to become a completely different person overnight. I love New Year's and I always get swept up in that fantasy of being the most healthy, the most productive, the most caring, the most generous, etc. person. But the reality is that's not going to happen overnight. And yes, I can make strides towards it and I can do things to improve, but it's not just going to magically happen on January 1st. So if you are like that and you have all of these thoughts and ideas and goals for yourself and they just don't materialize, or they don't materialize as quickly as you would like, don't fret. That's completely normal. It's perfectly fine. Once you let go of that expectation that everything will be magically different overnight, you can then focus on the real work of building the habits and putting the systems in place that are going to get you to the next level. Maybe not this week, maybe not even this month, but with persistence and consistency, you will get there. And then part B is what I like to call rollover resolutions. They're those resolutions that we set for ourselves every single year, the same ones over and over again. I have been so guilty of this in years past, and I've realized now that it's obviously just not important enough to me for whatever reason. Maybe it's just not a priority right now. Maybe I've got other stuff going on, and that's fine. Listen, we've all got a lot to be dealing with. So if you have those types of rollover resolutions, it may be time to either get rid of them completely, just decide, you know what, this is not a priority for me. This is kind of a should, something that I feel I should do, or, you know, that someone else is telling me I should do, maybe the media or something like that. And instead focus on the things that are actually meaningful and valuable to you right now. Maybe you will come back to those resolutions at some point down the road, but for now, shift your focus elsewhere. Come up with a new, exciting resolution or goal or action that you would like to take. Now, if you're ready for that clutter-free feeling in the new year, then take my free decluttering challenge. 30 areas to tackle in 5 minutes or less. Thousands of people have already taken it, and maybe if you are one of them, you could retake it. Start the new year off on the right foot. I know I will definitely be doing more decluttering this year. Until next time, Happy New Year, and Cura Mila Mahagwev. Agus feki me shib shigalua. Slán!